Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna go for it and just wing it with you on this how to do this bookmarker. Okay, and there's several types of bookmarkers you can do. You can just do a single bookmarker like this, just single chain, and then you just put it inside your whatever book you want. Just do like a regular one that goes like that. Or you can do a wider type, chain bookmark, and it's wide. It's just a circle. It's just kind of long in a circle like that. But this one I kind of like because depending on what kind of book you got, you can almost make it look like a purse. Let me show you. Let me turn this video around where you can see it. You can make it look like a purse. See, it looks like a purse if you hold it up. Oops, that's the bookmarker, and you put it inside your book like this. You put it inside your book like this. Let me just do. I'm actually holding the camera trying to show you how to do this, but that's okay. Because I'm not a professional. I'm just doing this just to encourage you. So, and I did put it on YouTube so you can see it. See, this is my book. It says, what does it say? It says, do what you love. And this is what I love doing, is crocheting. So you can do a bookmarker like this. It's a little wider. And then you hold it up. See? Make it like a little purse like that. Like you see that? See that? You can see that better like that. Yep. So you can do it like that. So it's several types you can make. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to show you the basic on how to actually make a bookmarker, or really anything you want to call it. You can call it a bookmark and call it anything you want. This is just the foundation, just the basic of crocheting. And the main thing I did want you to do with the crocheting is learn how to read a pattern. So here's our first pattern. I'm going to call this pattern My Boyfriend Driving Chain. My boyfriend's driving. So it's called chain one. I said chain one. This is actually saying chain 11, row one, single crochet. SC, when you see in a pattern, is single crochet. So you're going to single crochet in each chain that you make. And row two to the end is single crochet to desired. So you just crochet to the desired length that you want. Okay. So, yeah, so that's it. And my main goal here for you is I want you to see the pattern and just to encourage you because I'm so glad you're crocheting. So the first thing you're going to have to do is make a slip knot or a knot, to get started with it. And the way to do that, if you don't know how to do a slip knot, and there's lots of videos out there on how to do certain things and stuff. So this is just personally for you. Okay, so here we go. I'm making this for you. Okay, so this is for you. Okay, here we go. Now, I always like to say you take the tail, pretend like that's the tail of a, you can't even see my tail, can you? Let me make this back where you can see. Okay, see, you take it, here's your yarn, here's your end, and you're going to do it like this. Take this end right here and cross it over like that. Kind of do like cross your legs, kind of like cross your leg. Then you take that part, or at least I think I used to tell Jordan this. You take it and you take the head of the snake, hold this down, because you got to grab the head of the snake, bring it around, then you pull it in, and you pull the tail, and there you go. I'll do that again so you can see that again. And this is called a slip knot, and you can do this any kind of way you want to. You have this thing, that's the head of the snake, and he's going around. He's gonna try to bite you. He crosses his leg. The snake, make that the snake head. You hold the snake by the tail there. You take this part, you bring it over. See the line you have here? You bring this over like that. See, and you can see when you bring it over, you have a little right there, and you're going to pull that. But while you're pulling that, you may want to hold that, pull it up, and voila, you have your slip knot. Now there's another way you can do a slip knot. There's a lot of videos out there on slip knot, so I'm not going to really go into that. I just make mine with my hand, cross over like this with my finger, and just pull that through. So that's how I do mine. Okay, and that is a slip knot. Okay, now you have one thing you have to about me when you see videos that I do for you, girl, 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 girl. I may start singing. I may start doing all kind of stuff, and my words. If I talk too fast, it's gonna be really. You'll see it really spread together, but that's okay. So now you got your the chain. So you got here's your hook. Now I'm gonna show you two different hooks. I'm gonna start with this hook so you can see. If you start crocheting and doing your chain and your yarn starts to split, When I say split, that mean it's gonna go in between. You'll know when it starts to split the yarn. If your hook is not the right size, you'll have a hard time getting it through this hook. See how much I'm trying to grab this yarn, and actually as I'm trying to grab it, it keeps slipping out. So that tells me, see, I'm just slipping out. That tells me if it doesn't go real through like that, real fast, if it slips out, if my hook slips out of this, not this hook I made, that means I need to change my hook size. Either I need to go up or down. In this particular case, because I already had practiced before I was showing you, I knew to go up. So this was a size, I started with my pink, which is 3.5. So then I went up to a 4.0 because the hook kept coming out of the hook kept coming out of my chain. Okay, so this is how you chain. You have your first loop on your hook. Now you're working with this part, not the short part. So always make sure your long part is that. So you take your hook, you take the yarn over your hook. See that? And what you're gonna do, this hook part right here, you're gonna take that part, and you're gonna have to have your fingers. You're gonna have to hold this part here. This is the part you're holding. You're taking this around, and you're actually bringing this, and you turn your hook. So your hook is this way, and you turn your hook to grab the hook, the yarn, and pull it through. Okay, I'll do that again. You put the yarn around. Your hook is up here, facing up, looking up. Look up, and I sing too. Look up, look up, look up. So you have your hook up. You turn your hook this way to grab the yarn to pull it through. So basically, once you get real comfortable with it, it's up and pull, up and pull through. Oops. Up, turn, pull through. Oops. Up. See, my hook is splitting. Up and through. Up and turn. Up and turn. Face up, turn. Face up and turn. See that? It's kind of like a, yeah, see, my hook is coming out, so I need to probably change hooks again. So up. Oops. And you should be able to get it around like this. Now, if you're really having a hard time, this is what, younger kids that usually do it like this. Put this yarn over, and you take this and pull it through like that. You pull it through like that, and you're really just taking this. So basically what you're doing, you're always going to have two pieces of yarn on your hook, which is yarn over. So you yarn over like that. Let me make sure you saw that. You yarn over like that on your hook, and you're taking this bottom and pulling the top one through. That's basically what you're doing. You have a yarn on the top, and you're pulling it through. Okay? And you do this until you get 10. And I know I've got more than 10. And here's how you count. This is also another important thing to do, is learn how to count your chain. These look like little V's. See, they look like a V. So you just count. You just count them. I know I got more than 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 13. So a lot of times, if I start my foundation, my first chain, if I have too many, instead of me trying to just pull them out and get down, I just start it over. Because trying to count backwards and just making sure I have the right ones, it's not going to work. So I just start over, and I count as I do it. And I really don't have your loop too tight. You want to have it a little loose. Okay, see, that was a little bit too tight. I don't want it that small. I want it a little loose. So I'm going to strum my foundation over. Because if it's too tight, you're not going to be able to get those for your chain. You won't be able to get your loops in there. Okay, not too wide, but not too tight either. Okay, and then you're going to hold that little knot. See that? You're going to hold that part as you crochet. Okay, and then you're going to go around and through, and you're going to bring your fingers up to the next part, around and through. See that? And you bring your fingers, so you're actually moving your hand up like this. You actually, because you got to hold that, because it's kind of awkward if you don't. So you're almost bringing your fingers up. You got this, you're going around, and you pull it through, and you bring your finger up, and because you're really holding, what you're doing is, here's your loop. You're holding that part so it doesn't, so it doesn't go all over the crazy place and doesn't get loose. So you hold that, okay, and you see how this, even though I'm holding this and I'm getting this loop, this hole right here, is too large. So I can always pull this part right here to make it just a little bit smaller. And then I go back up and I hold it just until the neck of the hook on the hook and pull it through. And again, because I was talking, I wasn't counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5. And then I count 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Woo woo, 10. But I wanted 10, so I'm going to crochet 11 because that's what it said on that instruction, 11. So I have my 11. So that's the foundation. That's going to be the basis for your to start your chain. So now we're going to go into, and you're just going to keep this. This is your chain. This is the beginning. And now you're going to go into each one of these parts. You can see a little hole right there. You can almost see it. And you're going to take your hook and you're going to go into each one of those. And the way you're going to do it, again, you have a little right there on the hook, but you're not going to do it. You're going to go to the next one. You're going to take your hook, go into that little hole, and the same thing you're doing before. You're still going to grab some yarn, and this time you're going to pull it through your hook. And now you have 2 loops, as they say, on your hook. Again, you're going to still do the same thing. You're going to grab through and pull through both. Go in, go into the next hook. You're going to pull through 2 loops. And even though it's called a single crochet and you have 2 loops on there, it's still a single crochet because that's your beginning and that's that's the single one you're doing, and you pull through. So, and don't get confused because you say, oh, which one did I go through? It's always the next one, okay? If you can see that. So you have another hole you go through, pull it through. And this takes some practice. It takes practice, as you mean, and that's why this is a good, you're saying a bookmarker is a good foundation. This is a good one to do because you can make it and you can do a lot with it. Okay, so you go through and you always can see which one you're doing next because it kind of hold up. That's the one you went through, so you want to go to the next hole. So if you're not sure which one where do I stick the hook at, you can always almost tell where you're sticking your hook in because where you just stuck the hook is kind of a wider hole, and the one you go into is not as wide. If you can see that, okay. So I'll go through it again, and you go through here. After you get through with the foundation, the rest of the rows are much easier. When you get to the second row, the second and third row, it's easier to see where to stick your hook from there. And I'll show you how. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so it's going in. And I hope this video is good for you. If it's not, you can always tell me what I should do better, okay? Okay. And if you find a pattern out there you like, hey, I love to do crochet along, which is mean we do it together. I've done a couple of those for people. Okay, so when you get to the end, and it's going to curl. When you get to the end, you have 1 loop on there. What you do, it's called chain 1. Okay, you're going to chain 1, just like that, in that loop, and then you're going to turn your work so it goes back this way. When you're crocheting, unless you're left-handed, you always crochet to your left. You start, your hook is in your right hand, and you're crocheting all your work to the left. And you're back and forth. You're going this way and that way. Okay? And then you do the next thing. Now, this is why I say when you get to the second and third row, it's easier. You can see the V's in here. Like the little V's here. You can see those. Okay? And all you're doing is sticking your, now not that first hook. You're sticking your hook right through that V. Pull it through. Again, 2 loops on the hook. Pull it through. Again, you see the V? See that V? Oops, I'm sorry. You see that V right there? You're sticking your hook through both of those little V's, and you pull it through. And you crochet. Pull it through the V's, crochet. Now, I can see that my video is almost 15 minutes, and because even I don't want to see